Okay, but let's go ahead and jump into the next couple types. We've got these interesting ones, void sphere and void cylinder. What these will do is it'll prevent particles from kind of entering this area. Creates kind of a negative force area. It's almost like a wind that emanates from the center, except that it pushes them away. Anyway, to do that, what we're going to do is we're going to set up a different type of birth system. We're going to go ahead and use this box that we've created. We're going to come out here, and actually let's do this. Let's go ahead and just scale it. And we're going to go ahead, let's scrub to update, and then what we want to do is we want our particles to be moving. It's very important with the void sphere and the void cylinder is that it will not affect the particles just by themselves. Let's kill those decays. In order for these void types to work, the particles have to be moving. So let's go ahead and we'll give them some initial velocity at birth. Say 100 with 50% variation, and we're going to move them along the positive y direction. So you can see what's happening right now is, let's disable that force rule. We can see the particles would want to go along this way and be pushed out in this direction. But what's happening is when we enable this force rule, particles who would have been flying forward are encountering this void sphere, which is a sphere located right here at the origin. Remember, we don't have a position specified, so it's going to use 0, 0, 0. So as those particles try to go forward, they're actually going to get pushed back. And there's no decay on it, so it's going to be kind of an infinite force. Let's go ahead and set some decay there, and we'll see what happens. Decay of 50. So the particles kind of wrap around, and then as they get closer, some of them get pushed out, and so that they avoid that whole center area. Same thing with cylinder. It's going to kind of avoid in a cylindrical pattern. You can see that nicely up here as well. And you can see how hard of a force value that is. This might be a good time to go ahead and put in some variation. And also with the void cylinder type, you can see that it's pushing them out equally along the whole height of the cylinder. And remember, the cylinder is just a visual representation to kind of give an idea of what's actually happening. But so void cylinder, we can also use the DecayTo, because DecayTo is applicable to all of the cylinder methods. So if we could set that maybe to 50 high, what will happen is, we'll see, it fades the effect, the void effect, along the height of this cylinder and pushes them out that way. Doesn't quite wrap around the whole top. It kind of, that effect fades out as we get higher up. Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at the position and direction inputs. We'll use this one as the position. We'll create another helper as the, this one is the direction. This one is the position. So if we pipe this into position, what we'll do is we'll go ahead and say, well, right now we've got that it was at the origin. Let's go ahead and let's put it on negative, say negative 20x. So that's somewhere, I think, right out in here. Actually, let's put it a little bit further. And now as those particles go forward, you can see obviously that the void cylinder is located out here. So it's going to go ahead and use, obviously, whatever position we input, as well as the direction. Let's go ahead and we'll disconnect this. We want to take a look at the radial functions. Again, just to cover the... Oh yeah, now with the particles moving, what will happen is as those particles approach, they're going to get twirled around like that in the radial sphere. We could kind of see them being twirled around this way. If we go ahead and use this vector again in the direction, it will twist them the opposite direction, so now to go clockwise. So that's kind of the basics of force. Let's go ahead and take a look at something a little more interesting.